Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava Batra, page 21a, top of the page, with the word Seifa, Asan, Litinoko, Shabes Rabban, etc. In the latter clause, we arrive at the case of school children who come to learn Torah in his house, and this ruling applies from the time of the ordinance of Yehoshua ben Gamla and onward. What was this ordinance? As Yehuda says, that Rav says, truly, that man is remembered for the good, and his name is Yehoshua ben Gamla. If not for him, the Torah would have been forgotten from the Jewish people. Initially, whoever had a father would have his father teach him Torah, and whoever did not have a father would not learn Torah at all. The Gemara explains what verse did they interpret homiletically that allowed them to conduct themselves in this manner. They interpreted the verse that states, "And you shall teach them to your sons." Deuteronomy 11:19 to mean, and you yourselves shall teach. In other words, only your father shall teach your son. Or when it says in the Torah, "V'limaldetem osam," only the father should teach the sons and no one else. When the sages saw that not everyone was capable of teaching their children and Torah study was declining, they instituted an ordinance that teachers of children should be established in Jerusalem. The Gemara explains what verse did they interpret homiletically that enabled them to do this. They interpreted the verse, "For Torah emerges from Zion," Isaiah 2:3. But still, whoever had a father, his father ascended with him to Jerusalem and had him taught. But whoever did not have a father, he did not ascend and learn. Therefore the sages instituted an ordinance that teachers of children should be established in one city, in each and every region. And they brought the students in at the age of 16 and at the age of 17. I would think much younger, no? Wow, 16? Where'd they go before that? Okay, anyway. But, as the students were old and had not yet any formal education, a student whose teacher grew angry at him would rebel against him and leave. It was impossible to hold the youths there against their will. This state of affairs continued until Yehoshua ben Gamla came and instituted an ordinance that teachers of children should be established in each and every province and in each and every town. And they would bring the children in to learn at the age of 6 and at the age of 7. That's more like it. With regard to the matter at hand, since this system was established for the masses, the neighbors cannot prevent a scholar from teaching Torah in the courtyard. Excuse me. Concerning that same issue, Rav said to Shmuel bar Shilat, a teacher of children, "Do not accept a student before the age of 6, as he is too young, and it is difficult for him to learn in a steady manner. From this point forward, accept him and stuff him with Torah like an ox." And Rav further said to Rav Shmuel bar Shilat, "When you strike a child for educational purposes, hit him only with the strap of a sandal, which is small and does not cause pain." Rav further advised him, "He who reads, let him read on his own. Whoever does not read, let him be a companion to his friends, which will encourage him to learn to read." Okay, we can do this. With regard to a courtyard, the Gemara concluded that it is permitted for one to establish an elementary school to teach the Torah, and neighbors cannot protest. The Gemara raises an objection to this ruling from a Brighton with regard to one member of a courtyard who wishes to become a doctor, a bloodletter, a weaver, or a teacher of children, the other members of the courtyard can prevent him from doing so. This indicates that the neighbors can protest the teaching of children in their shared courtyard. The Gemara answers with, what are we dealing here when they can protest his teaching children? When can they protest his teaching children? We are dealing with a case of Gentile children, as there is no mitzvah to educate them. In this institution, the neighbors can protest about the noise. Okay, I don't advocate racism. I'm just reading what the Talmud says here. And that's it. Come and hear another Braita. With regard to two people who are residing in one courtyard, one of them sought to become a doctor, a bloodletter, a weaver, or a teacher of children. The other can prevent him from doing so. The Gemara answers, here too, we are dealing with a case of Gentile children. Tashima. The Gemara suggests, coming here from the Braita, one who has a house in jointly owned courtyard may not rent it to a doctor, nor to a butler, nor to a weaver, nor to a Jewish teacher, nor to a Gentile teacher. This indicates that one's neighbors can prevent him from teaching Jewish children. The Gemara answers, with what are we dealing here? We're dealing with a scribe of the town who does not teach children but writes documents and letters for residents for the town. This type of work is not a mitzvah, and since many people seek his services, the residents of the courtyard can prevent him from performing this job near their houses. With regard to the ordinance of Rabbi Yehoshua ben Gamla, and concluding teaching children in general, Rava says from the time of the ordinance of Yehoshua ben Gamla that school teachers must be established in each town and onward. One does not bring a child from one town to another. Rather, each child is educated where he resides. One does bring them from one synagogue to where they learn to another synagogue, and if a river separates the areas, and if there's a bridge spanning over the river, one may bring them across the river. But if there's only a narrow bridge, the Gamla, Shua ben Gamla, and a bridge is called the Gamla. Interesting. One does not bring. Okay, and Rava said that the maximum number of students one teacher of children is 25. The maximum number for one teacher is 25 children. And if there are 50 children in a single place, one establishes two teachers so that each one teaches 25 students. And if there are 40 children, one establishes an assistant, and the teacher receives help from the residents of the town to pay the salary of the assistant. Rava said, if there is a teacher of children who teaches a few subjects, and there is another who teaches more of the subjects than him, one does not remove the first teacher from his position to hire the second, as perhaps the only teacher will come to be negligent due to the lack of competition. Rav Dimi from Narda'a said, on the contrary, said on the contrary. All the more so it is the case that he will teach in a better manner if he knows that he is the sole instructor in the place. As jealousy among teachers increases wisdom. The one who was dismissed will try to refine his skills so that he will be rehired, and this will prevent negligence on the part of the other teacher. And Rabbah said, if there are two teachers of children, one who teaches a lot of material but is not precise in his students' statements, and one who is precise but does not teach a lot of material, one who hires the one who teaches a lot of material but is not precise. Why is this? Errors will be corrected by themselves, and no lasting harm will be caused. By contrast, Rav Dimi of Nerdah said, one hires the instructor who is precise and does not teach a lot of material. As once an error is taught, it is taught and cannot be easily corrected. The Gemara cites proof for the question of Rav Dimi of Nerdah. This is as is written for Yoav, and all Israel remained there 6 months until he had cut off every male in Edom. 1 Kings 16, verse 17. 11, verse 16. When Joab came before King David after his episode, David said to him, to be continued,